listening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of County Armagh in Northern Ireland. And I know some of you out there watching have big opinions about that. We're just going to set those aside for now. We will address it when it comes up in history. Just relax. Don't worry about it. We will talk about it later. For now, I'm going to say Northern Ireland because politically that's what this region is known as. But let's narrow it down and talk about County Armagh, which I think is the smallest county in Northern Ireland, or as this region is more commonly known as Ulster. Most of Northern Ireland was part of historic Ulster. And definitely the biggest geographical feature of this area is this big lake here, which is divided between many different counties, as you can see. This is Lough Neagh. And it is not only the largest lake in Northern Ireland, the largest lake in the island of Ireland, but it's one of the largest lakes in the UK. I think it is the largest lake. It's either that or Loch Ness, but I think it is the largest. You all correct me in the comments. I have so many British, UK, and Irish viewers out there. You all correct me. But it has this chunk of the loch. Most of County Armagh is relatively flat, lots and lots of farmland and pastureland, until we get more to the southern region here, where it starts to get a lot more rocky. And here we have Slieve Gullion, which is the highest point in the county, and right where it starts to get really mountainous. And you can see it does border the Republic of Ireland there. Important to its history. Not much else to say about geography in particular, so let's get into the history. Any other geographies will tie in. So like I said, this is part of the historic region known as Ulster, or Ulaid. I think in this part of Ireland it was known as. And this region in particular has a lot of pagan history. Slieve Gullion being named after Cuchulainn, one of the great Irish heroes of Irish mythology. And there were a lot of little sacred spots, one of them being here in what is now the city of Armagh, big hill. Armagh is actually named after a goddess in Irish religion, Macha. So, Armagh. I think it means oh, I forget. I'll put it on the screen. I didn't write it down. So, once upon a time, a guy shows up here in this town named Patrick. And he says, I would like to build a church, but I want to build it on your sacred hill here. And they were like, absolutely not. He went and performed some miracles. I think he saved the life of the main priest of the area, and he agreed to allow St. Patrick to build a church, and that would become St. Patrick's Cathedral. And it's still there. It's actually the burial site of another important Irish figure, Brian Boru, one of the great kings of Ireland. It's a very important spot to Irish history. The region was attacked by Vikings during the Great Viking raids of the 800s, 900s, 1000s. But we're going to skip ahead to another important part of Irish history. The planters. Sorry, my kitten wants to play. Unfortunately, I'm talking about Irish history, so he's going to have to wait. So you might hear him running around trying to get my attention. Anyway. The planters were not there to plant crops, so to say. The planters were Protestants from what's now England and probably probably Wales. I didn't really read about Welsh planters, but mostly England, who were there to plant themselves into the culture, into the population, to overpopulate the area with their religion, their culture, their way of life, which was a Protestant one. And in fact, they turned St. Patrick's Cathedral into a Protestant church, which you can imagine the Catholics living here weren't very happy about. They built a cathedral just across the way that's also called St. Patrick's Cathedral, but it's a Catholic church. That's what cathedrals are. So the tension was always there. It still is to some extent, but at the time it led to many different conflicts, including the 9 Years' War, or Tyrone's Rebellion, from 1593 to 1603. The Irish Rebellion of 1641 was another big movement. And of course the Irish War of Independence from 1919 to 1921, where it became more guerrilla warfare. It led to the British over in London dividing Ireland between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland, with the thought that Northern Ireland had a lot of Protestants, the Republic of Ireland had a lot of Catholics, so they were separating the religions, and Northern Ireland remained part of the United Kingdom. The Republic of Ireland became independent. But as you can already surmise, that doesn't quite work out for places like Armagh, right? It has a very large Catholic population, and they very much resented being lumped into this separate area within the United Kingdom that was supposed to be predominantly Protestant. And this would lead to the Troubles, a time in Ireland and Northern Ireland from the 1960s to 1998 is the official end, where that guerrilla warfare from the Irish War of Independence went up by like 100. It became very extreme. This region was known as Bandit Country or Murder Mile because of the many outlaws that would hide out in the southern regions here, especially down in the south. And there were many attacks on Armagh, mainly because Belfast, you can see, is right here. That had the worst of it, so it wasn't too terribly far off. And there were many assassinations, just a really terrifying time to be in this corner of the world. But peace was eventually negotiated in the Good Friday Agreement, and the Troubles have officially come to an end. There is no violence, so to say, but there is still bitterness and resentment to this day, which you might see down in my comments. Now, I have a policy that if you slander any country, I just delete it. It doesn't matter your opinion. If you are, talking smack about any country, any culture, I don't tolerate that, because that's not what this channel is about. So if you see anything too egregious, it will be deleted very quickly. Otherwise, this is about relaxation and world peace and all of that. If you want to have your say, do it without insulting any other people group, please. That's that on that. That's what I have to say. You can have your opinions. You don't have to have them in my comments if they're very angry, right? It's not what my channel is for. I want to mention real quick before we go over to the tablet, the city here of Craigavon, you can see, is very near the loch here, Loch Ness, and not terribly too far from the capital, Belfast. Now, Craigavon is a planned city. The people who designed it thought that it would be a good overflow from the expanse here of Belfast, kind of a more countrified city, and they tried to make it. This was in the 1960s, so at that time it was very revolutionary. They had huge bike paths. They built a ski slope. We'll take a look at it on Google Earth. It is the driest ski slope you'll ever see. And they tried to create like a little, like, perfect town here, but that fell through, mainly because of the troubles happening. There are a lot of reasons why the whole city planning just collapsed. So it's still there. People live there. It's still a town, but it did not reach the big plans that the original city planners had intended. They wanted it to be like a major suburb of Belfast, and it is not. But, the intentions were there. So, I think that's the history portion. I did do a lot of research. The main issue was that any website I read just said the same things over and over, just phrased it differently. So that is what I included. If I left out anything very important, or if you want to go more into details about the mythology or St. Patrick or some of the rebellions that happened here, please do so down in the comments. I would love comments like that. But pretty much in my research, it was just saying the same things over and over. So that is what I brought to you tonight. Let me go grab the tablet because it's actually very early in the morning that I'm filming. And the sun's about to start rising, so I need to film this dark room immediately before it starts getting light. So let's head over to the tablet. So Google Earth apparently does not like the counties of Ireland, and I think that's because in Northern Ireland, at least, I'm not sure about the Republic. I guess it's drawn up more into districts than counties, but I'm going by the counties because that's how I only know Ireland, right? So if you type in County Armagh, nothing pops up. It just takes you to Armagh. So let's explore it. Starting off in Armagh, we can see popping up, you can see the big cathedral here. You can see that it's definitely on a big hill. St. Patrick's Cathedral of the Church of England. So this is the Protestant church. You can see all lit up for St. Patrick's Day clearly, but there it is normally. And it is very lovely inside, isn't it? I think big churches like this are really cool on the inside. Look at the stained glass, making little sparkly lights on everything as the sun hits it. Beautiful garden. My cat is running around. Look at these old flags. You know what I also didn't talk about are the clans that ruled here, because that's just way too much detailed history that we're not getting into. Beautiful door there. Look at the carvings there. And the burial place of Brainpool. That's pretty too. And that's very old. It looks like another different carving here, maybe telling a story. St. Patrick's Cathedral during Christmas time. I wonder if that's St. Patrick. But we can look further down the road, a little Celtic cross there. Further down the road, we have, wait, I just lost it over here. St. Patrick's Roman Catholic Cathedral. Come back. There we go. So this is the newer one, built specifically for the Catholics, and you can see it's also gorgeous inside. Isn't that lovely? All lit up at night, big steps leading up to it. And look at that altar. I think very similar to the other one, but that's probably on purpose. Lots of neat statues, more stained glass, big high ceilings. That's definitely St. Patrick. My cat is trying to cause chaos directly below me. We're just going to ignore him. Look at that ceiling. Oh, that detail is so beautiful. Pews there. Big organ, it looks like. Their statue of Jesus with the cross. There's that Celtic cross again. St. Patrick. So yes, very, very lovely. Look at the details there. The knots and tiles, mosaic. It's really lovely. An old cemetery as well. Armagh is also known as a center of learning. You can see the Royal School there, and this observatory. My cat's causing chaos there. Observatory here and planetarium was, I think, like one of the most important astronomy centers of Ireland. Here you can see very old building there. You can still go and see some exhibits about the history of space and some Lego art as well, and a big meteorite here. It says this was found in Argentina, but it's here in Ireland now. Okay. But let's take a look at the County Museum. I'm sorry about the cat. Some old clothes there. These are axe heads. See how smooth they are. Shows you just how old they are and how long they haven't been used. Some little friends. Very old building here as well. Lots of artifacts from the county. Armagh. That's interesting. Looks like a weapon. More little friends. More artifacts from the history of the railway there. An old skull, my goodness, from the King's Stables. A very, very cool history museum here. A little gift shop or something. There's Merida looking at the artifacts. This is a neat place. And apparently free. So if you're in the area, you gotta check it out. But as I zoom out, you can see just how pastoral this area is. You can see all the lush green farmland, very characteristic of Ireland. Big reservoir there as well. We're gonna head down to the south and check out Sliabh Gullion. This area of outstanding natural beauty, which goes into County Down, so maybe some of the things you'll see here is actually in the neighboring county. There's ferries here. You've got to be careful of the ferries. If you go there with the wrong intentions, you might have some consequences. Big old castle as well, because we are in Ireland. Big old haunted wood here. And I want to see a little playground there. I think it was in this slideshow, sheepies. Another fairy house, but I think it was... Nope, okay, it's not in this slideshow. A little monument there for something Irish is too far away. But some of these fairy homes are... we talked about it when we were in County Antrim, because I misunderstood one of the little fairy things. I thought it was a trash can. It was actually a place for little ones to put their pacifiers or their... I saw a sign here calling them dodos. It's weird how they're called so many different things around the world, but here we call them pacifiers or passies. And, oh my goodness, be careful. It's where, you know, once you're big enough that you don't need it anymore, you can drop it off and the fairies will take it for you, which, in America, we have a couple of customs like that to get rid of your passies, and they do in Ireland as well. Isn't this beautiful? The fairy presence is a little disturbing, but see, the fairy keeps... Be careful. They'll eat you alive. The fairies are vicious. You have to be absolutely, like, well-intentioned, 100%. You can see the big mountain here. This is Sliabh Gullion. Let's check this out. View from way up high on the mountain. That's at the very tippy top, I presume. And let's see what we can find up here. Sign here in Gaelic and English, telling you all the different sights that you can see from up above by the lake. Sheepy with the blue butt. India. Ring of Gullion Way. Another fairy door. Very, just because. Oh, here it was. Saying that you leave your dodos there. And the fairies will take it for you. So that is that. There's the lake over there as well. Now, I just did Arkansas last week. And very much like in Arkansas, a lot of the photos here are absolutely terrible. Like all the different towns don't really have pictures of the towns. So like I said to my Americans last week, to any Irish people, anyone in the county, any British people, anyone in the area, come here and take photos and upload them to Google. So maybe we can come back someday and see some better photos. Let me know if you do. Because a lot of the photos here are absolutely terrible. I think there's some good ones over here by the lake. I think maybe this one doesn't have terrible pictures of the lake, but like I want pictures like this. I want to see the lake. Look at how beautiful that is. Little swan with the little goslings. Like I want to see pictures like this. Most of the pictures are not. Oh, that's neat. A little place to maybe meditate. I think I saw another picture somewhere. Someone doing some sun salutations in that spot. So there's, a lot of pictures to see, but they're not great. So we are going to end this in Craigavon. You can see the town there. See, not nearly as much as a bustling suburban city as they intended. But we're going to look at the ski center because you can go skiing here in Ireland. Look how sad that is. That's all probably frost, that's not really snow. But you can go tubing down it and just slide down and just have a blast on the little ski slope. Like these babies here, aren't they sweet? You can go kayaking nearby. And like it says, there is a golf course nearby as well. Decorated for Christmas here. The ski slope. I have never seen a ski slope with less snow than that. But, ouch. My cat is digging his claws into my leg. Oh my gosh, that hurts so bad. Kitten, please stop. I'm begging you. Okay. There we go. He really wants my attention. I'm going to give it to him. So we're going to call it a night. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing. This is an ongoing series on my channel. We just looked at one of the most important churches in Ireland. Next, we're going to look at the most important church in Armenia. So we're going to Armenia next. Make sure you subscribe so you won't miss out. I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational. And I hope that you have a good night. Good night. Good night. You can see the sun starting to come in.